My name is Mitch Bryars, and I usually do these iOS, iPhone, and iPad meetings. This is the last meeting. This is the last iOS meeting for the season, because we have no meetings in July and August. So the next iOS meeting will be in September, and I don't think that I will be here for that meeting. I think I'll be out of town.
Somehow we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we will figure it out. We have other experts, trust me. Next week's, anybody here for the very first time? Good, I don't have to go through all those announcements. Next week, what's the meeting going to be about next week?
Question and answer.
Question and answer, is it going to be by you?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be worth attending.
Then the following week, Jim Corsica.
Jim Corsica is going to do
Garage band.
GarageBand. And,
Everybody probably has it, but nobody knows how to use it.
so that'll be on GarageBand. And is that the last one, or is there one more after that?
One more after that.
And that'll be you?
Probably on photos.
Photos, okay, good. So, I did have a few questions that came up, and there is one that I have no idea what the person is talking about, so I'm going to put it up here.
And you don't get paid for the meeting.
That's right, and I'm going to put it up here and see if anybody else, first of all, she refers to an attachment. The attachment didn't come through when we forwarded this to me. But this gal is, her name is Vita, V-E-L-V-A, and apparently she doesn't attend meetings regularly anymore because she's at a remote site. But she's saying she's having memory problems, particularly with mail on the iPad, I believe. And so I have too many emails on my iPad version 4, and she also has a version 1 iPad that she mentions in here. I have an iPad version 4, only 12 apps, quite a few memos and photos, and the email is a problem. And I don't know what she's talking about. And the problem with me not knowing is that whenever I get an iPad or an iPhone, whatever the maximum amount of storage you can buy, I buy. And then I don't have these problems. And so if you're ever, my advice is if you're ever thinking, well, I can get by with the 32 and I don't want to spend another $100 for the 64 or whatever it is to go up to the next level, I'd spend the money because it's well spent, and things are taking up more and more room. The things that take up most room are videos. Next would probably be photos. But if you get emails that have videos embedded in them, and they're stored on your device, they'll take up a lot of room. But I don't understand.
Haven't you set up a fund that you fund to personally help them pay for the extra space?
Yes, I do have that fund set up. It's called Your Checking Account. But did you understand this particular person's question? Because
Not quite.
I didn't understand it, and email storage, I have thousands and thousands and thousands of emails on my device, and that's not where my storage comes from. It comes from the 17,000 photos I have, and really the videos. The videos, particularly the mistake that people make with videos is that, particularly on an iPhone, which people use to take videos generally of their grandkids. And so they got all these videos of grandkids, and they take up an enormous amount of room because they're in high def now. And then when they forget to delete them. They put them on their computer and they save them, and they forget to delete them off of their device. And so then they get a new device, and or they all of a sudden start running out of memory and they're wondering why. And the first thing I tell them is just check your videos. So I'm not sure what her problem is with emails. There's not enough here to really tell me. I don't know whether she has what kind of email account she has, but does anybody have any ideas on what she's talking about with email storage being a problem on an iDevice? I've never heard of this before.
Wouldn't it depend upon if she has a Google or Amazon account? Those emails would be on the server.
Google is on the server. I think Yahoo is on the server. Any iMac is on the, iMac
Right.
email.
Even Apple.
Even Apple. So it could be if it's not the type of email she has, but she doesn't say what type she has. Yes.
Mitch, why don't you send it to me and I'll call it.
Okay, I will do that.
Marty,
Let me just forward that to you, Marty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This may be a stupid question, but where do I go to check how much storage is available? I know I've been there before, but
I'm going to do that.
It's not a stupid question.
It's not stupid at all. Marty, what is it, M-A-R-T-Y?
yeah.
And then-
DORIO 13 at iCloud.
Thank you, Marty. Okay, so where you go to check this is, and I didn't bring my pointer, but you go to settings, which is in the bottom, right down at the bottom. So you go to settings, and then you go scroll down to iCloud, and it says available storage, and you hit on available storage. Everybody see that?
yes.
Okay, there we go. And you hit on, you'll see that I have 200 gigabytes of storage. I think it cost me, I think it's $1 a month or $2 a month. I know Apple reduced their price. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Did she want to know about cloud or her iPad?
Well, I think this is the cloud. Is that what you wanted, the cloud or your iPad?
Both. I just found
Okay.
on, the total storage was 50 and the available was 43.1.
Okay, good. I'll show that too. But right now, let's finish with the cloud. So under
Yeah.
Manage Storage, so you hit that. And this takes a minute to come up. Okay. So this shows that I have 2 devices in the cloud. And this is something you really ought to check because a lot of people make one little mistake when they get a new iPad or iPhone. And that is they forget to go into this area and delete the old one. And guess what? If my old phone were there, it would have another phone there that I no longer own, and it would say iPhone 6, and it would say 17 gigabytes of storage that it would be taking up, and I no longer own the device because I haven't deleted it from here. Does that make sense? So that's one thing you want to check because it's something that often happens.
We have new ones here this last week or two.
Yeah.
We have total storage 5 gigabytes on mine, and on Jeannie's it's 20 something. Why is that so low?
It's because you didn't buy any extra.
Oh,
If you hit on, if we go back to storage
I think it's $1.99 a month.
and change storage plans. Okay, it's $3 a month for the 200 gigabytes. And if you have the 200 gigabytes, so I have the 200 gigabytes, this works for my iMac as well. And the big thing that takes up my storage, if we go back and look at the storage, I don't know
Total storage right at the top?
Yeah, okay, iCloud library has 114 gigabytes, and I can guarantee you that that is photos. Let's just look at it real quick. 17,000 photos and 565 videos. So that's why I have 200 gigabytes, and that's my sort of, I back up my photos and my videos about 6 or 7 different ways every week because I'm a backup nut, and the guy who made me a backup nut is Dennis DiGiacomo. But aside from that, I back up my photos and videos in the iCloud as a fail-safe. So that's why I spend the $3 or $4 a month for the 200 gigabytes. I haven't found a need to go to the 1 terabyte. You can do it. You can also do it. You can do those kind of backups through Dropbox and some other ones out there as well. But it wouldn't be iCloud. So the one thing you want to check is this, and you can see I have 2 devices. Here's my phone, and I have my iPad Pro 9.7, which I'm working on. At the bottom, it shows what's taking up all this space. And I mean, my mail, and I have plenty of mail, is only taking up 237 megabytes, which is nothing. So I don't know what this gal's problem is with her mail storage. Okay, so does everybody understand that and how to look that up? Okay, now, if you want to see...
After I've already looked it up, how do I delete the devices that I don't have?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's go back to that. Right here. So you go into Manage Storage. Okay, and you go to the item and you say delete this backup. You see it? Are you watching me?
It's okay?
You see, you hit on the item. I'm hitting on my iPhone 6. Okay, I hit on that. It comes up and says you got 17 gigabytes, and you hit delete backup. So if you have ones in there that you've replaced and you no longer have them, or you gave them to your son or your daughter or your girlfriend or boyfriend or your wife or husband, they're no longer yours. So unless they're using your ID to back up, and you can just delete them.
Okay.
Yes.
How can you tell, like that mine says iPhone 2, and it's, I got too much stuff here, that was backed up on 6.5, and then I have another one that says this is my iPhone. Would her iPhone be on here too?
It could if you're using the same iCloud account.
Oh, we are, okay.
Or could that be the old one that you got rid of?
It could be your old one, and the really way to tell, let's go to the next part first, and I'll show you how to tell.
Put your name.
If you go to settings again, settings at the bottom, and you go up to general, right there, general, okay? And you go to about, right at the top, about. And the name is Mitch's iPad Pro 9.7, okay? I can change that name. So the first thing I do when I get a new phone or a new iPad is I go in and I put the name in there of the new device. Okay? And that's the way I tell. Now, if you haven't named them, the other way to tell is it'll say the last time the device was backed up.
Yeah, the one's real old.
If the one's real old,
That's
you
it.
got to figure out, that's one I no longer have, and delete it. Yes?
About the iCloud and having your stuff in, when I'm donating my iPad
to my grandson,
Yes,
and I restored it to get everything off.
yes, yes.
Okay, also take care of the iCloud?
No, it won't take care of you won't be able to see that
Yeah,
if you've done it properly,
right.
but it will not take care of that. It'll still show on your device as that device being there. Now, and the way to do this, if you're gonna sell or give your iPad away, unless it's to someone who's gonna use your iCloud account, and some husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriends do that. I don't, with my wife, we each have our separate one. So the way to keep that yours when you sell a device is to go in to iCloud. So you go back here, go into iCloud, and you go down here and you turn off Find My iPhone or iPad, and if you hit that, it'll ask you to, if I say, if I turn this off, it'll ask me for my password. Okay? I'm going to cancel that. Okay? But you have to turn that off. You turn that off. You can turn off last location. You can also turn off backups. I don't think you have to, but you can turn that off. And then you go back to General. Okay? And you go all the way to the bottom and you go to Reset. And the one you want is the second one, Erase all content and settings. That'll erase everything, and when you start it up, it'll start up as a brand new device. And it will ask you to set up an iCloud account, it will ask you to set up a passcode and so on. If you have not turned off iCloud, and somebody, and you give it to somebody, then they can go in and they can do whatever they want to do as long as they have your passcode. Okay? So yeah, two-step process. And, since you only do that once a year, once every 3 years or whatever, I always recommend just Google it. Google, how do I prepare my iPhone or iPad to be sold or given away? And it'll go through these steps with you. Okay? So, let me get back to the other part of this lady's question. What was your name, ma'am?
Jerry Rader.
Jerry, okay. So the other thing that she asked about is the storage on her device. Again, go to Settings. I'm going to go back up to General, and I'm going to go to this About. We went over the name. Now, it tells me what network, how many songs I have, and that's songs that I've downloaded onto this device, how many videos I have on this device, photos, applications, the capacity, 232 gigabytes, and I have 92 available. Okay? Now, so that's the capacity right there of your, and if you bought, like this one's a 256, well it says capacity of 232, the rest of that capacity is being used up by the operating system and other things that Apple has in there. So if you bought a 64 gigabyte iPad, it's not going to show 64, it's probably going to show 56 or something.
She
Okay?
wants to delete her videos or photos. How does she go about it?
You want to delete them? You have to go in and delete each individual one. Now, I'll show you the ones that take up the most room in just a second. On my iPad, so does everybody see the storage and the capacity and all that stuff? And you can see that I'm quite a nut when it comes to apps. I've got 281 apps. I got what's he doing with all those. Well, I probably only use, I've said it in these meetings before, there's probably only 15 or 20 or 25 that I really use on a regular basis. Okay? Other ones I've gotten for free, there are things like Who's Your Congressman, or the Declaration of Independence, or who knows what, that was free, and I just have them, they're reference things that I rarely use, but they're there. Every once in a while, I'll go through and delete this.
Mitch, by leaving those on, is it causing the iPad to operate slower?
No, it's not causing it to operate slower. They say you don't even have to close apps anymore. It doesn't cause it to operate slower. About once every couple of weeks, I close apps. The way you close apps, I'm going to go hit on the home button twice, okay, which makes this come up. And then to close them, you just, swipe up. You can do them 2 at a time. You can do them 3 at a time. And you can see I've got quite a few that are open. Okay? But they say that really doesn't do much anymore. It used to a while ago.
It doesn't take your battery down either.
No. Yes.
Just a very basic question. I know that backups they're enabled, they're turned on. But
Yes.
you have to physically worry about, every once in a while, I'll get a message on my iPhone that I haven't backed it up in 2 weeks.
Okay, if you haven't backed it up, if you get a message you haven't backed it up in 2 weeks, it usually means one of two things. The first thing is that when it backs up automatically when when it's being charged and you're in a Wi-Fi area.
Right.
Okay, so every night I plug mine in. I don't care if it says it's 80% or if it says that you can't, there's no harm done to plug it in when it says 80% and it sits there all night. There's no harm, and oh my God, I gotta take this off, it's gonna burn up. It's been saying 100% for the last 3 hours. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff anymore. So I plug mine in every night it's backed up. If it's not backed up, it's because you're not in the Wi-Fi. It can be that you don't have it enabled on your phone, okay? The other very common thing is that you're out of storage, and it doesn't say you're out of storage. It just doesn't back it up. And you start looking at your available storage, and you find out, oh, I don't have enough storage. So at that point in time, maybe you find out, oh, I've got 2 or 3 old iPhones on here. I got to delete these old ones like we just went through, and free up some storage. Or I've got to start deleting some videos. It's usually videos that causes the storage problems, or photos. Or simple thing, I'm just going to pay $4 a month and buy the 200 gigabytes of iCloud storage, and not have to worry about this for a long time. If I look, and the way you check that, and it is good to check it, because it really doesn't tell you. And I've run into it. I've picked up a friend's, been troubleshooting a friend's and playing around with it. Like, I'll go out of town and go up to Grand Rapids where I've got a bunch of grandkids. And my brother-in-law, he's not too versed on Apple items, and so I'll always give him some lessons. And I'll say, last time I was up there, I said, well, this hasn't been backed up in forever. And we went through, and we found out that he didn't have his iCloud account set up properly. He had the wrong email in there, and he couldn't remember passwords, and it took us about 4 or 5 hours worth of screwing around with this thing to finally get everything squared away, and I got him on 1Passcode, so he's got everything in there. And he's flipping through pages, and he's got this passcode and crossed out. And I said, well, what's this? Is this a T or is this an I with a dot? And he said, well, I'm not sure. Is this capital or not? And, so it's really not a good way to keep passcodes. The best thing to do is 1Passcode. 1Password is what I use. It's free for the iPhone and the iPad. It does cost money on the computer, but if you look for a sale, they usually have them like at Black Friday, or periodically there'll be a sale. They'll reduce the price from what, 40 or 50 bucks down to 25 or 30, George? He's shaking his head.
Actually,
He probably doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
No, it's funny, I was going to say, I was looking at trying to delete some movies, and you were asking me the question, so I have no idea what you said.
You just sit there. You know how I know?
Pay no attention to my answer.
Yeah. Get that, I get tested from my wife now. What did I just say? I have no idea.
No, we have, my wife and I, we have this, that she requires me to look at it.
Yes,
Right.
yes, I've got the same one, they've been going to the same, they've been going to the same therapist or something, yes.
We just have one session on that, totally, because I have the problem, and I'm the opposite sex, but where are
Session on what? Getting along with your mate?
on how you handle this, you're on your
Oh, I get this all the time. Now, if she's on hers, it's not, there's no problems, okay? But I'm sitting down checking emails, and I probably, I mean, I have about 5 email accounts. 3 of them are active, and we could go into why I have 3 that are active, but I go in there and delete emails probably 30 or 40 a day, and I probably only 4 or 5 that I really read. But I still get work emails because even though I'm retired, I'm still on the payroll for another 1.5 years or so. And I consult, so I have things to do there. You try and keep up with this stuff. Now, the one saving grace is that I can say, I gotta do a presentation at the computer club today.
She calls me up to
And then, yeah, she probably does. And she'll say, oh, it's okay then, go ahead, I know you're busy, you've got to be studying for this. So that gets me by for a while too sometimes. It's really tough, and I try not to be rude, and I try to, what happens with me is she will leave the room, go into the bedroom, and she does a lot of exercises in the evening, and so then I'll get out my iPad. Well, I'm in the middle of doing something. I'm in the middle of a lynda.com video, and she comes out and starts talking to me, and I'm not paying attention because I'm in the middle of something. And so I've just learned that I just got to put it on pause, put the TV on pause, and pay attention.
Say yes, Steve.
Yeah.
We have a marriage counselor.
We need a marriage counselor.
That's a new app, George.
A new app. We need an app for
I've
that.
been woman's here for 45 years. I dealt with everything.
One of the things I do is when I produce a video or something, I always at the end, produced by an amateur videographer and Natalie, and then I say, and her consultant. So, my husband's,
Yeah.
so he's included in there.
There you go.
But George's mirror method, though, is one that you should consider.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at getting a rear view mirror for my monitor, so I can look at my wife that I'm looking at.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I'm going to say for a thing.
Yes.
You know, I got this new 9.7 Pro, and
Yes.
although it does the same thing on my wife's Mini iPad, the phone rings, not my house phone and not my iPhone,
Right.
it rings in here. And all kind of stuff I think, so why, can I shut it off? I don't want everything ringing in my house.
Yeah.
This is a cellular, you know.
It's a cellular, yes. Let me get into that in just 1 second. I want to, before we lose track of the storage thing, I wanted to just go into one of my big culprits. So you see these videos here of 586, and they take up a huge amount of storage. And if you go to videos, got a video app, which would be movies. These are the movies that I have on this device.
My God.
Why do you keep them all?
Well, it's because if I fly, then I've got a selection to choose from. I've seen them all 3 times. I'm not going to. They're just some of the ones that I sort of like, and so if I get bored on a plane, I have a selection to choose from. So, but these take up an enormous amount of room. They'll take up, there are Apple ones, and they take up anywhere from 3 to 5 gigabytes. Each.
Wow.
Each. So, Another trick with this that I'll show you real quick, these are the ones that are on the device, okay? If I go back to my selection, maybe I want to, if I want to delete one, so let me go back, let's go back into here and delete one. So if I want to delete, I'll delete behind enemy lines. Wait a minute. Let's go back to that. Let's go back. Edit, and now, so I'm going to hit the X on delete that one. So I'll delete that one. Delete. Now, it doesn't delete it from the cloud. It just deletes it from this device. So I just freed up 3 or 4 gigabytes of space. So now, when you go into, let's go back to that, turn that editing picture off. Yeah, it's off. Okay. So if you go back into settings and I go to videos down here, you'll see that there's show iTunes purchases, and that's off. Okay? If I turn that on, and now I go back to my video app, what happens? Now, it shows, see the little clouds? Every video that has a little cloud are ones that I could download to the device if I wanted to. So you'll notice, like Alice in Wonderland, there's no cloud. Well, that's because it's already on the device. So if you go, I've got a lot of Apple movies. Okay? Lots. So,
That you've purchased.
Mitch,
yes.
how long does it take to a piece like Whiplash get from the cloud to your device? How long?
It does take a while. It takes maybe, I'm going to say, half hour, 45 minutes. I mean, it takes a while. I mean, if I'm going to do it, and typically when I change them around is when I know I'm going to take a trip, and I'll go through what's on the device, and I'll go through my library and say, yeah, I'll put this on just in case I want to watch it. Whiplash was an excellent movie into that.
Oh, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
But I imagine it depends on what Wi-Fi
Yes, it depends
environment you're in.
It depends on the speed of your Wi-Fi. I have the fastest you can get.
So you probably want to do that at home, not stay here.
Not at Wendy's, or not here, or
Yeah.
not at McDonald's. You want to do that at home.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the story on the movies is 2 things. Number one, some people are sports buffs. Some people are music buffs. I happen to be a movie buff, and so I have about 800 DVDs that I've ripped off from my personal library and donated the DVDs that are on my computer at home. So when I turn on my Apple TV, I've got those 800 to select from. And then I have about 200 plus ones that I bought from Apple. Yes?
When you rip the home DVDs, do the extras go with it?
No, the extras usually, I don't think the extras usually go with it, just the DVD goes.
Okay. Just the movie?
Huh?
Just the movie?
Just the movie, yeah. Maybe the extras are there and I didn't bother, but, I mean, I did this 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. It was a real process, because I used one piece of software to rip them, and it takes about an hour
Yeah.
each one.
Yeah.
And then I used another piece of software to get the artwork. But the Apple ones, for a while, I had a really good break. I had a friend who was up in Grand Rapids, and he used to go to this video store, and they would get in new videos, and they had a certificate in these things for a free digital copy. And he'd call me up and say, hey, tell me what movies you need, and they've been giving me these certificates because I'm one of their best customers. And he'd send me these Apple movies, and I'd get them for free. And I probably got about 20 or 25 for free, and then all of a sudden they stopped doing it. Then the other thing I do is when you see sales on, and periodically, somebody will send out an email to our website, our blog, that there's a sale on iTunes cards. And I usually look for iTunes cards that are $100 iTunes cards for $80. And I buy those. And I'll buy 2 or 3 at a time and load up my account. And my justification is if I'm buying a $15 movie, I'm really getting it for $12. Because I'm only paying 80 cents on the dollar for those. So, and I like to watch movies a number of times. So, that's just my gig. Now, back to your question.
I'm still awake.
Okay. Been long enough, I have to ask, what was the question again?
Why,
Oh, yeah, the sound.
the phone ringing?
Yeah, the phone ringing. Okay. I'm gonna have to do some homework here, but I think it's under, it could be under sounds. Yeah, everybody was doing that.
I don't mind messages or why,
Sounds.
but the phone.
I think it's, don't you go,
Or do you go to setting, or you go to general and about, George?
it's where that phone number is.
Yeah, that's about, and it's right here, the phone number is right here, cellular number, but it's not anything. No, it's not there, it's under,
Not under sounds, huh? Would it be under cellular data?
cellular data, that's it, cellular data, where is that, cellular data,
Please option.
okay.
I get
And,
there.
No, selling it
It's
is.
under Bluetooth.
under Bluetooth,
No, I mean, she has where it is.
Oh. yeah.
Oh,
Cellular data, manage account, right, that's AT&T. There is a way to do that.
I hope so. Because you know the election's coming. Everybody except God is calling me.
I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call tonight.
Don't miss that call.
Okay,
Well,
so let's go here, let's go to how to turn ring off on iPad. Okay. If you would like to stop your iPad from ringing when someone calls your iPhone, that's not what they're doing now.
Well, that's part of it.
Go to settings, go to FaceTime, and tap down to turn off.
Not so fast.
FaceTime, and tap on toggle switch to turn off. Is yours on?
It was on, but
Okay.
yeah.
See if the ringing stops. If the ringing doesn't stop, I would go to a counselor. Yes.
Okay, I got a question about VPN.
Yeah, just a second.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make a point here, and that is, if you really want to know something and you don't have the answer, 99% of the time, if you do just what I did, Google it, you'll get plenty of answers. That was the first one. There's a whole bunch here. Okay? So if it doesn't solve the problem completely, go back and look at a few of these others and see if there's anything else. Okay. Now, yes.
You know how the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't? I found this deal on slickdeals.com.
Yeah.
Lifetime VPN, the original price is $330 for $20 million.
Uh-huh.
And I did it, And my question is, it shows that I'm on VPN, but how do I know it's actually working?
Okay. You'll know it's working if you see right up at the top here where it says AT&T up on the top left-hand side, and it's got the Wi-Fi. It will, if the VPN is on, it'll say VPN. And usually on VPNs, you have to activate it every time you get in a Wi-Fi area. You have to hit the VPN.
So if you got a lifetime, it doesn't matter how much you use on Wi-Fi, right?
I guess not.
Okay.
What is VPN?
VPN is Virtual Private Network. And it's I've had several and I haven't been happy with one. Everybody should, having said that, everybody should have one because what it does is it protects you if you're at Starbucks and you get on your bank account, you think, I just go and check my balance. And then there's somebody over there who's a hacker and they know what they're doing and they're seeing your passwords and everything else. A VPN puts up a firewall so they can't do that. There are several in the App Store that you can buy. There's one that the last one I tried, I just didn't like the price of it, was this one right here. And they just wanted too much money.
How about a personal hotspot versus a VPN?
Well, a personal hotspot is when you're on this and it's on the Wi-Fi and you've allowed a personal hotspot for your iPad. If this isn't on a VPN, if this is not on a VPN network, okay, then you're not protected. If it is, then you're protected. And so, what I usually do, I haven't been happy with VPNs. They're expensive usually. You got to just $29, and it's a good one. Let us know. Report back on that in a month or two.
Okay.
If we don't see it coming around the meetings, we'll know what happened. There are, if you go to the App Store and type VPN in, you will find many. And I've tried 2 or 3 of them. They usually allow you a trial. They slow down your access a little bit usually. And I just haven't been super happy with them. Having said that, again, everybody should have it for protection. What I tend to do is when I'm out, when I'm doing secure things like getting into my financial accounts and so on, I tend to do that at home on my home network. And rather than at Starbucks or at McDonald's or at, if I'm at Starbucks and McDonald's, I'll get into my email, get into messaging and that kind of stuff, but anything really secure, it's not a good idea.
I do mine at the Russian embassy.
Russian embassy. Right, very good. Okay, now, there are a couple of things that I wanted to go over, and I need to switch devices to do that, so I'm going to just log off of this one. Let's see if I can get on with my phone.
Make sure you're on the same now.
While you're doing that, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I have a VPN called Tunnel Bear, and I'm a little new at it, but it seems to work for me. I like to get French TV.
Yes.
And when I use Tunnel Bear, they don't know that I'm in the United States if I click on France as my domicile. So I'm happy with it, and it costs $49 a year. When I'm at Starbucks, I'm on Starbucks network, even if I have Tunnel Bear turned on, right? So they can get to my passwords.
Well, if you're on Starbucks network and it says VPN, again, up at the top next to the network thing, you're protected.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Which one do you have?
Tunnel Bear.
And you like Tunnel Bear?
So far, I'm kind of new at this
Yeah.
VPN stuff, but it's working for the objective that I have.
Okay.
Is that an annual fee or is that one time?
Annual fee.
Annual fee. They're not cheap. Protection is not cheap. I don't know why I can't get this on here, George.
Make sure you're on the same network.
Yeah, I'm on the instructor network. You're not showing up. Should I turn it off for a minute? Come back in?
I'm gonna quit it and turn it back on.
Okay.
Well, I keep getting a message, but it's been back.
Okay. Yes, you're there. Good. Okay, now we're on the phone, and I want to go into some haptic touch applications, but before I do, how many people here have the 6S phone or 6S Plus? Okay, sounds good. We'll go over some of this. I got a series of emails, before I get into this, I got a series of emails from Bob Kennedy, which were very good on privacy items and things that happened to his iPhone, iPad, that he was not aware of. And so I went and looked at that. And so if you go into settings and you go into general, and you go all the way down here to profiles, I'm sorry, profiles, and you hit on profiles, you'll see that I have one here from Cisco. And it's a legitimate one. It has to do with my, one of my business accounts. Now, if I go to my iPad, there's one on there, I think from Bank of America. Or no, there's one on there from Xfinity. And that's where Xfinity keeps their stuff. So if you're riding around town and there's no network, you can get on Xfinity's network. Now, there was a hack if you Google this subject, which would be profiles on your iPhone or iPad. You'll find that about 2 or 3 years ago, you'll find an article where some hackers found a hole into the iOS system where you could put some nasty stuff in here. And Apple quickly plugged that hole, according to this article. So I don't think there's any big vulnerabilities. But I had 4 or 5 of these on my iPad. And I looked at it, and they were all old ones that were sort of, I had the weather one that you mentioned, Bob.
Yeah.
I deleted it, nothing happened. The only thing I can think of is that when I downloaded the new weather app, that one of these buttons flopped up and I said yes, and it created it.
Same with me, I was doing that.
You were,
I was putting the weather app on my computer.
yes, okay. It was on your computer
Yeah. But
or on your
that
iPad?
name that popped up, that email address name,
Yep,
that was totally out of the blue. I never
yeah.
figured out it would have any relation to the weather, or certainly I didn't know.
Yeah. But,
How
yes,
do you get the profile? I like ours, none of
No,
ours.
mine doesn't have a profile.
if it doesn't have it, then you don't have any.
Well, how do you create it, or
Do you
should
want
you
one?
create it?
You don't?
No, you don't want one unless you need one. Like I needed one for some of my bank accounts. They
You're talking about
required.
VPN.
Huh?
It's
You're
like
talking about the VPN.
Oh, a VPN will also show there too, under profile.
Okay, but
Do
then
you have one?
I don't have a success, so I don't have a profile.
no profile
Okay.
in ours.
It's like a cookie.
Well, you don't have one unless you do something.
That's right, that's right.
How do you do something with it?
You don't
You don't have to worry about it.
really want to do it.
You don't want it.
Oh.
Like I don't have any
That's a scam.
Think of it as, it's more like a cookie.
Yeah, it's more like a cookie. That's right. It's more like a cookie.
Okay.
So you can delete these things, and the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to pull up your app, and it's going to say, hey, we need you to have one of these, or we need you to say yes to this. I deleted the weather one, and I have yet to pull up a weather app that is not working properly.
I threw them all out.
Yeah. Yes.
So I did mine, and it says hotspot shield delete by Anchor Free. Should I delete that?
If you're not using hotspot by Anchor Free, yes, I would delete it. And again, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get into hotspot, and it's going to, whatever that app was, and it's going to say, hey, you got to create one of these.
So should you or should you not
Delete them.
allow it to create one?
It depends on if you want to use it.
But it could be a hacker.
It could be, I don't think it would be a hack. According to what I read on the internet, they plugged that up so that it would not be a hack anymore. But if you go, and again, just do a Google search, I did find an article, I think it was in 2012 or 2013, where there was a hack hole in the system, and they said Apple quickly repaired it. Then what I did is I limited my search just to like the last year, and I found nothing about hacks. But I did find the ways to delete it, and I think I have those. Let's just look at that real quick. Let me just get back into my Safari.
While you do that, my profile created an email account. And I absolutely did not like that.
Yeah, mine did not create an email account. But let me see if I still have that up here. I don't. See it. Let's look here on my iPad. Yeah, I think I removed it. So let's go to here, and we go. It was privacy, wasn't it? Was it?
No, that's in the settings, general, profile.
Yeah, but a profile. Okay, so how to delete.
Just click the profile.
Profile.
You got profile spelled wrong.
Profile. How do we profile? I want to do it on my. Let's do iPad. Okay, and here it is. Go to Settings, General, Profile. Select the profile you wish to remove. Okay. Select Remove. If asked, enter the device's security PIN number. Okay? There's a whole bunch of stuff on this. And also, if you go in here, I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but if you go in here and say, what is a profile on my iPad used for? It'll give you some explanations. Now, haptic touch. Haptic touch is something that's available on the Apple Watch, and it's available on the iPhone 6S, 6S Plus. And it's when you press the screen a little hard, things happen. And the one that I use, the one I probably use most often would be the photo with the camera. So I'm going to put my finger on the camera and hold it down, and this comes up. take a selfie, take a video, record slow motion, take a photo. So it takes you right to that area. Okay? So that's how that one works. On messages.
Oh, Mitch, on that one,
Yes.
I'm curious as to how those 4 options were arranged. Maybe it goes, maybe you take more selfies than photos?
I don't know. I think it's
Because on mine, take photo is on top on mine, and then record slow-mo is second, which I've never done. Record video and take selfie, which I've never done.
have no idea.
How do you turn this on?
You don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine's on the top too, take photo.
You don't?
and I take more photos than anything, and mine's on the bottom.
Well, I think that's what it is. I take more photos than anything, and mine's on the bottom.
Well, I don't take any of the other 3. Well, maybe I've recorded a video.
But have you used this application, is the point? Have you used the haptic touch?
Yeah, I knew right away that's the one you were going to say that you use the most. It's an excellent feature of this phone.
Mine's on the bottom. So the way you get it, again, you have to have a 6S or 6S Plus phone. Okay?
How do you get, what's
And-
the app?
It's got to have a 6 cents.
There's no app.
No, it's confused.
You just press and
You
push
just
in on
press,
the
you just
camera.
press and hold
On the camera.
on the
You have
camera.
to have the 6 cents.
But you gotta have the 6S or the 6S Plus.
Yeah.
Hold.
Mine goes into all the icon shaking.
No, no, no.
Oh, too long.
No, you pressed it. The app, not this phone button.
I have to go.
No, he's holding it too long.
You're holding it too long.
Oh, yeah, oh, right.
If I hold it too long, if I don't press hard enough,
Right.
this comes up, which is what you're getting,
Yes.
okay? You gotta press hard, and that comes up.
Hard, quick,
Hard,
quick.
okay, you got it?
You can get notes.
And then you just press whichever one of these you want. and-
Yeah, so take a picture, comes up, take a picture, okay? And we can take a picture. Okay. So now, let's go through a few more of these. So above there on messages, if I do that one, new message, and here are some people that I received messages from recently. Okay? So if I want to pick this one, okay, okay, let you know later today. Good.
Which one was that?
That was my partner. Okay, so now on notes, same thing, a new note, new photo, new sketch. Okay? On reminders, it'll give me my categories of reminders. Okay? Now, on some of them, it doesn't work. So if I go to CNBC, nothing. Okay? If I go to Seeking Alpha, nothing. Stock Tracker, nothing. Activity on the watch, nothing.
That's what.
Now, watch, Pair, or Apple Watch comes up. On the heart, show various things, your medical ID, and so on. So not all things work. On apps, this is interesting. So you can do update all, and it'll go right into here, and it'll update. Just say update, and start updating. Okay? It's a feature that is easily, it's very convenient, and it's easily forgotten. Because I forgot all about it. Somebody asked me about it a few months ago, or was talking about it, and I started using it a lot with the camo. That's the one I find. Anybody else use this and use it with a particular app that they like?
Maps look good.
Maps?
Once you can get.
Yeah, Maps is, there's Maps. Okay,
Get lost.
directions home. Send my location. Mark location. Okay. But on some of them, if you hit it, like on, this one's showing it. On some apps, it just doesn't show though.
What's your church alive?
That's a game.
Does it work on the iPad?
No, it does not work on the iPad. Haptic touch is something that they sort of were hoping they'd put it on the iPad Pro, and they did not.
But it's on the phone.
It's on the phone, and it's on the watch.
Even the 12-inch iPad Pro?
It's not on here.
Not on the 4S phone, even with the other day.
Oh, it isn't on a 4S phone? Okay. Okay. I don't know if it's available on that or not. Might not be available. Yeah. Yes.
Question. The first time I ever get this boarding pass on my phone, I don't know, what do? I hold it with that one.
Yeah, if you get a boarding pass on your phone, you can just go, you go right up and go like this on the scanner, and it'll let you through. Yeah, they got a scanner there.
But she asked me for a driver's license.
Yeah, they ask you for your driver's license, you go like this on the machine, and it'll let you right through. And a lot of people say, well, you know, what happens if the electric goes down or whatever? That's on your device, number one, and I think they have battery backups for the machines that they're using. They have to.
Just in case I printed it out.
Yeah.
Sorry to go back, but I've tried on the photo, and she tried, and it doesn't work. It goes directly, if I push hard, quick, it goes directly to the camera.
Press real hard, and just leave it pressed.
Oh, and hold it.
Yeah,
And hold it,
yeah.
and then it goes up and down. Not that long, just press it and release it.
And you have a 6S.
George, help him out a minute. Here comes help.
And Mitch?
Does he have a 6S?
Yes.
Maybe that. Here's both of them.
Okay, while he's working on that, yes.
Yeah, question, on taking photos, so you take a lot of photos then.
Yeah.
How do you take, on your iPhone 6S, how do you take a photo in the landscape mode easily? I mean, how do you hold your phone? Because I found out if you hold it, you've also got the off button on the other side of your finger, as opposed to the iPhone, the previous iPhone, you could press, the button was on the top and you could use that as an alternate. In other words, how do you click the shutter when you take?
I always click it on the screen.
You click the round circle on the screen.
Yes. That's what I do. I
Just on the other phone, it was more convenient to press the volume button. But here,
You can still do that.
do that, but then your thumb is on the off button. You know, I miss
Yes.
this. Yeah, I
You
miss.
can easily do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where do I find out if it's from the 6S?
It should be in the general and settings. Or general and about.
It's not there.
Model, what is the model? The general and about.
General and about.
There's a model number.
Model MKR 42. Oh, it would change depending on your capacity of the.
MG 652 LL.
I would do a search for that.
It's a 6 plus. Mine's a 6.
Yours is a 6 and we'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, it has to be 6 plus.
Yeah, it has to be 6 plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you said 6 or 6 plus.
No, 6S.
S or
or
6
6 Plus, or,
Okay, I get it.
yeah. It's a new feature with the latest phone,
Okay. That's-
except it doesn't work with
That
the
takes care of it.
4. The new small one, it doesn't work with that.
Oh, this is an old.
Oh, that's an old one.
An old
Oh, okay,
4S.
an old 4S, okay.
And it
I'm sure we
doesn't-
work with the new one.
Yeah, what is the new one called, S something?
I forget which, but it's
SE.
SE.
5S.
Yeah,
5S.
SE.
5S.
That's why the stock price is down.
Oh, it doesn't work.
That's trying to buy a new iPhone.
They're not building a great computer.
Okay. Any more questions? Yeah, question here. One
I had a
minute. 1 minute.
question.
Got one right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you have files, we'll say on your MacBook Pro or your iMac, and you want to put them on the iCloud drive, so I have 2 questions, I guess. Let's say you have a Pages document, and you want to save it to the cloud, you also want to save it on that device, that MacBook Pro.
Right.
And you want to put it on iCloud drive. Could you just run us through the steps of how you do that?
I don't do that. I save my documents to Dropbox.
All of them.
All of them. And then I can roll them up on any device I have. And I just prefer Dropbox. It's just where I started, and so I don't use iCloud, I use Dropbox. And Dropbox also accepts files that iCloud might not.
It works the same way though.
It works the same way?
So it's
Where
essentially.
where are you saving from? You're saving from Pages or Notes or where?
From Pages.
Okay.
If you go into your iCloud drive, you see,
I don't see many files because I've saved them on the computer and not to
but
Dropbox.
do you see keynote, numbers, pages, preview, where is that? You see those?
On the iPad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you're working in, I think if you're working in those programs and you go to save it, I think it gives you an option.
It does, but I'm saying, let's say that you have a lot of files on a device like a MacBook Pro, and you want to transfer selected ones to an iPad. You want to save it to the cloud, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So the way you do that is on your MacBook Pro or on your Mac, you'll have an iCloud drive listed, right? If you've downloaded it on your Mac.
In the save menu or?
In the save menu, you'll have your Macintosh HD, and you'll have Dropbox if you have that, or Google Drive or your iCloud drive. So you just drag and drop to your, or copy to your iCloud drive. I prefer copy, and I have 2 copies of it. Right. The one thing I found is if you move too many things to iCloud, it gets confused. I have maybe 300 or 400 documents on iCloud, and if you have too many, it then doesn't let you take them off. You have to fill around with it to get it off.
So you prefer iCloud Drive to Dropbox, Marty, or you use both?
I use them both for different reasons. I use all of them for different reasons.
And I use Dropbox for everything except photos, because photos at one time was problematic on Dropbox. I don't know if it still is.
Marty, when you say you use them differently, do you use one program, you use different programs on each? They're the same?
No, for example, I use all my Apple documents, Keynote and Numbers and Pages on my iCloud drive, because on Dropbox it screws those up. You can't store, you can't save a Numbers document on Dropbox very easily because it changes the format sometimes. So I use all of Apple things that my iCloud. I back up routinely things like my Quicken and QuickBooks and other things from my PC to my Google account, to my Google Drive account, because that's just sort of it's a really nice 20 gigabyte storage space for backup. So I know that they're all there and I don't worry about it. And then I use Dropbox for things like NMUG and other things. So it's just mentally for me easier to know where things are.
So for those of us who don't use any of the Apple Pages or Keynote or stuff, we just use Word and Excel, then there's no reason to use iCloud Drive if you have Dropbox.
Or you use OneDrive, which is the Apple, which is the Mac version, the Microsoft version of the same thing.
Yeah, that explains why I don't use it, because I don't use Pages and I don't use any of the Apple apps.
It's just preference.
It's just preference, yeah.
If you use numbers, for example, you can get on your iPad and make corrections, and it will be corrected then on your computer as well.
Sure.
Can I initiate a numbers document on my iPad if I don't have the numbers app on my iPad, but can I initiate
No,
it?
but it's free, so just go download.
Oh, I never have.
Yeah, the Apple apps are free on the iPad.
On the iPad.
I mean, that's what I'm taking notes on today, it's Pages and.
If I can do that, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's not like me and George bored to into the meeting. Any other questions? Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
I keep getting a message, create new iCloud security code. A new security code must be created because of a change of iCloud keychain servers. And I recently got a new iPhone, and I'm having problems because on all my devices, it keeps jumping back. Like I'll be starting to send an email, and then it'll jump to iCloud instead of Gmail. And then all of a sudden I'll look down and anyway, I don't use iCloud Mail anyway, and it keeps jumping around. And
If you just recently got the device, I would go to the Genius Bar.
I've been there, yeah.
Oh, they were down.
Well, we restarted the whole phone because they thought that there wasn't enough space to back everything up, and it was still trying to back things up. And so I wiped it clean, and I may have to go back to the Genius Bar, I guess. But
Do you have old phones on there, the thing we talked about earlier, in your iCloud account that's taking up space?
yes,
Then I would, if you have
do that first. Yeah,
delete
get rid of
those
those.
so you freed up space.
Well, I bought more space, so I have
Okay,
plenty of
so you have
space
plenty of
now.
space, okay.
Yeah, so I solved that and then backed everything up and restarted the whole thing. And
I don't know what's causing that, but if it's a recent thing since you purchased the phone, I would go to Apple.
okay, the other problem that we're having is a Comcast problem, and that's another story, but the line going into our house is not working, so,
That is a Comcast issue.
yeah.
Yes.
I have two iPhones on my storage thing, and one of them hasn't backed up for 4 or 5 months. So I can assume that that's the one that I got rid of.
Exactly.
And you delete that.
You delete that by selecting that phone, and it'll have, do you want to delete this backup, and you delete it.
How did you say you changed the name? There's the same,
Yeah,
you want to get rid of the old one, but
Yeah, you go to General, and you go to About, and the first thing at the top is the name of your device, and you hit on that, and you can call it whatever you want.
old, then you can change it.
Yes. Yes.
Just want to mention, like I usually do, we have an exhibit in the back, a photo exhibit. If you didn't see it, go around in the back and see. The photo clubs exhibit.
Okay, with that, we're out of time. Thank you very much.